Hey, Phil here, and if you didn't know, I'm launching a brand new YouTube channel called Video School Online Tech. It's all about photo and video gear, reviews, unboxings, and tutorials. This is a video from that channel. It's of me and Will Carnahan talking about the Fuji XT1, a really great mirrorless camera. The XT2 did just come out, but it's not too late to do a review of the XT1 because it's a great time to buy. It's more affordable now that the next version has come out. So if you like this video, please check out the VSO Tech channel, subscribe to it, because after this week, all of the videos from VSO Tech are only gonna be there and not here on Video School Online. Thanks for watching and enjoy the video. First, Will, welcome to this review, and tell us a little bit about what this camera is.
Well, the XT1 is a mirrorless, I'd say photo camera more than anything else, and it has an APS-C sensor, so it's crop sensor, and it's basically just a badass camera.
Cool,
it's turned into, and people who know me will know that I tout this camera to everyone I know as much as humanly possible.
Yeah,
and
he does.
So yeah, I love it. I mean, everything from, just real quick, it's got great lenses. Fuji's made these X series glass lenses that go with everything. The camera itself feels like an old 35 SLR camera. You can tell even from the top.
It's got all the dials.
All the dials are right there. Exposure compensation, shutter, and ISO. You can get to the f-stop from the lens. It's also got custom dials on the front and the back. The screen itself is a giant LED screen that pops out, which is nice on your back as you get older. You don't always have to be bending down for stuff. Also, one great thing is about the EVF, it is an electronic viewfinder up here, and it's so quick. When I go from here to there, it manages to change quite rapidly, which is really fantastic.
You mentioned that on this lens you can change the f-stop here, but if you have a lens that doesn't have that?
Most of the X-series do have a ring.
Okay,
but you can set it to change from the dial up there.
Can you get adapters and put other lenses on there?
You can. I haven't actually messed with that yet because I've kind of really been enjoying the X-series lenses. Yeah, I think a big thing about them is that they're creating this new ecosystem with their glass. It's all new series glass to go with their other Fuji cameras like the X Pro, the X Pro 2, and the XT1s. So I've been focused on here, but you can flip it into auto. That's another cool thing. I can hand this camera off, flip everything into auto, and it just becomes a really nice looking point and shoot.
Yeah.
Which is nice like that. Yeah, I mean, I could go on forever.
Yeah, well,
so I don't know what else you want.
I did want to mention one thing. They are coming out with the XT2 soon. We're recording this. I don't know when you're watching this, but we're recording this in August of 2016. And they're coming out with the XT2 in the next month or so. Actually might be coming out this
End of
month.
September.
End of September. So we're going to probably get our hands on when Will buys it.
I've already put a deposit down on one at my local camera shop. And I could talk about what it's coming out with, but it's going to have dual SD cards. It's going to be a little faster, a little more robust.
Okay.
A bigger, newer sensor that's actually on the X Pro 2. And it's also going to shoot 4K video.
Okay, I was just gonna ask. So, how's the video on this?
The video, being a photographer and a cinematographer, the video on here isn't the greatest. I wouldn't say it's anything I would shoot. I would probably shoot with the A7S before I use this to shoot video. But I think the XT2 may be in the world of shooting some basic stuff or using as a B camera. It's hard to tell. I think Fuji's really focusing on getting professional DSLR users into mirrorless game. And I think this is the first step, and I think the XT2 is going to be the big step into shooting full-blown event photography or whatever photography as a pro. And I think I'm considering, get this, because I shoot lots of weddings, jumping over to the XT mirrorless system for weddings. Because
you've been doing Nikon.
Yeah, so I've been when I shoot professionally, I tend to shoot with Nikons. I shot your wedding.
Hey, hate to interrupt this video, but I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, stop right now, click on the link below to subscribe to Video School Online Tech. Thanks, and I'll let you get on with this video.
With a Nikon D800 and a D810.
It was great. It was amazing.
On my hips, and it came out great. It's wonderful, but they are heavy. They're big, giant cameras.
Yeah, I mean, if you could shoot the same quality or better with that little thing, like, why not?
Sure. I don't think this one's quite fast enough, but the new one, the XT2, they tout as being quicker with autofocus and stuff like that. I did shoot another wedding after yours where I had this camera on my chest just as for fun, and used the other two big cameras, and I ended up using this quite a bit and came out like at a camera, came out with some like really awesome images that you can see here, probably.
Yeah, we'll show some of those.
And yeah, I really loved it, especially with the glass that I have, the 56mm glass with it. And so it's just an awesome camera. And this camera's really gotten me into loving photography again. I carry it with me everywhere I go, no matter what.
I think that's a big thing with the mirrorless cameras is now that everyone has a smartphone that can shoot really great photos, it's hard to carry around a larger DSLR all the time. So even though you can't stick that in your pocket, it's easier than just carrying around a big DSLR. And we're going to be reviewing, I don't know what you call that thing that you put on your backpack, but that little clip, what is it called?
It's called the Peak Design Camera Clip.
Something.
Clip? I forget the actual
we'll put
name.
up another video. We'll review it. But Will is walking the Camino de Santiago later on, and he's going to be carrying around this camera with him. Hopefully, we'll get some shots to show you guys after the trip. But there's things like that where you can use a mirrorless camera, have it out all the time, and shoot great photos with it. What are some cons to this particular camera?
Man, I mean, I think professionally is my cons. I'd still think the autofocus maybe a little not there yet with the points of focus. I'm still getting used to it. I think that's more the deal than it is actually a con. I think also the frames per second are still a little bit slow. I tend to have a trigger figure when I'm shooting a bride coming down the aisle or something like that. I'll hold it down, and this buffering and starts to slow down. And also because of the EVF, you start to see it buffering and you see black between frames, which it's hard because I'm left-eyed to track the subject and be able to, because it's a digital thing. Whereas in a DSLR, you're seeing the actual
what's happening at the same time.
Yeah. So I'd say that's my biggest con. I think other than that, it's getting there. I think it's really getting there. And like you said, with the DSLRs and the phones, it's so much lighter, and it's got Wi-Fi enabled. So I can transfer photos immediately from this to my phone and be the Instagram whore that I am.
Yeah, well, that's something that I see the cameras with the Wi-Fi enabled, and I always wonder, like, why would I ever use that? But it is cool if you're out in the field and you want to just throw some photos on your phone or whatever and easily post them. What are there any other accessories that you want to talk about that you have for this camera?
Yeah, I think real quick I can talk about the Fuji kind of actuator basically, or the sync, what do you call it? Shutter release.
Shutter release.
So this shutter release is actually used through a USB mini or micro. I don't never remember. Yeah. But this is what I use for longer exposures and stuff like that. I also have a couple of small filters for this particular lens. We can get into more. There's a ND variable, and then I'm working on getting a Lee system filtration to take longer exposures.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll do a separate video on the lens, talk about the filters in that one, and we're going to do a separate video on the Lee ND filter system that you have, because it looks really awesome.
Yeah, and I don't have the vertical grip. They do make a vertical grip for this. I do have an extender for the bottom to make this a little bit chunkier. Aside from that, this is
got a hot shoe you could throw in a flash.
Yeah, there's no internal flash, but there is a hot shoe there that you can do an internal flash on, and then you can set what you want to view as far as back or front. But otherwise, it's it's a pretty basic camera that feels like a film camera.
What other cameras are, first of all, I don't know how the prices are today, but when you bought it new, around what was the price?
The body, for the body on the XT1, I believe it's around $1,400 right now, and you can get it in black, or you can get it in a really cool chrome silver and black, which kind of looks cooler, like an older film camera. Cool. Obviously, like if you're thinking about buying an XT1, I would wait until the XT2 comes out, because these will drop dramatically in price for sure, because the XT2 should be around the same price point, which is insane, by the way.
So the XT2 is going to be around that $1,400?
Yeah,
wow, cool.
just as the body, yeah.
Awesome. Outside of the Fuji, what other cameras are comparable to this one?
There's, well, real quick, inside the Fuji, there's a smaller version of this, which is the XT10, which is basically the same sensor, but a smaller body, and I think the body's only like $600, $700, which for a starter, like professional young kid coming out of college, is a great camera. I think the ones that fight and argue with this would be closer to like the cheaper Leicas, maybe. Also, the A7 is like twice as expensive as this, but I would say that this is on the par with that. I think others might not say that photography-wise. Definitely the A7's beyond for video than this is. And then Panasonic makes a couple of smaller mirrorless cameras that are kind of in this range. As far as Nikon goes, the Nikon DF, which I think kind of fell flat a little bit, is in this same world.
Any last words about who specifically should buy this, or what
Sure.
exact use would you use this for?
This is a great camera if you're thinking about downsizing your DSLR to a mirrorless camera as far as personal use photography. I think it's also a great camera for someone who's learning photography, who someone wants to be a professional, in the sense that it's very easily to learn because you've got all the dials up front. There's no menu really that you need to deal with for basic shooting. So I think that's kind of its target. Travel, it's really great. And unlike my partner Sam, I do love to have changeable lenses, but I think I'm using this more as a professional sense and a personal sense.
You need that range.
I need that range. Yeah.
Sam's manning our camera right now, making disappointment faces, and he's showing us the XT
Alpha A7.
A7.
Oh, the price. Wait, what?
What is that?
There's the A7, the A7R, and the A7S. The A7,
Oh,
which is their
A7.
base photography model, which I actually think is an amazing camera,
Yeah.
is cheaper than that.
So just to clarify, Sony does have their A7 series. The A7 I think is price-wise comparable to this, around $1,400. The A7S2 is, and the A7R2 are great, more expensive cameras. A7S more for video, A7R maybe more for photography. We'll let you guys debate that another time, you and Sam or whoever. But this seems to be a really great camera, like you said, for someone who wants to decrease the size of their camera, or just getting out of college or younger and just wants to go travel and have a camera that's easy to use and carry around with them. Quick. We really hope you liked this video, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to be trying to make this channel one of the best photo and video tech gear review channels out there. Hopefully make it a little bit more fun. And if you do want to take it to the next level and listen to us even more and learn from us, we have a few full online courses that you might be interested in. Will and I co-taught a wedding photography course, a DIY food photography course, and a cinematography course if you want to learn how to shoot better video. So the links for all those courses are down below. And you can see 50, 60 plus other courses at videoschoolonline.com related to video production and photography. So anyways, all that aside, hope you liked this review of the Fuji XT1, and we'll see you in another video.